want to show you how to tie a very simple and super effective Searun cutthroat fly. Going to start off with some fine monofilament thread. Thread doesn't really matter on this, it's not going to show up. Work your way to just about the point of the hook, and I'm using a Gamakatsu SS15 in a size 4. For the tail of this fly, I'm going to be using some natural polar bear. You can substitute that with white bucktail or EP fibers or anything you like, really. I just find the natural iridescence of the polar bear just works really well. So you want to measure out a tail about as long as the shank of the hook. Give it a pinch wrap. Make a couple good holding wraps and then work your thread forward to really secure that material to the shank of the hook. If any of you have used polar bear before, you know it's quite slippery. And just kind of clean up that tie-in point a little bit there. Wrap forward and then wrap your thread back towards the original tie-in point of the tail, which should be just around the point of the hook. And so here we're going to take some Petite Estaz in opal white. Pull the fibers off to expose the core and tie that in. Wrap back, make sure that's not going to pull out when you wrap. Throw that to the side. And we're going to use a natural grizzly schlappen feather. You can use some webby saddle hackle if you prefer. I just like the schlappen because it's webby and has a lot of good movement. Clean it up, tie it in by the tip there. Make sure that's nice and secure. And then bring your thread forward to about an eye length away from the eye of the hook. And take your Estaz and make nice touching wraps forward. This fly can be fished year-round for cutthroat. It's a good searching pattern. If you don't know what they're eating, throw this on, make some casts, and find some fish. Secure your Estaz. Clip your tag in there. And then take your schlappen or your saddle hackle. Kind of run it through your fingers to get it to cooperate. And then just palmer it forward like you would on a woolly bugger. You can change how tightly you make these wraps or how sparse you want it. I like it to be pretty full just to give it a nice wide profile in the water. Bring that up to your tie-in point. Pull some of the fibers off the stem to make tying it off a little easier so you don't trap anything. And then tie off your feather there. And trim that stem nice and close. Here, just build up a bit of a thread head because we're going to be putting a fish mask on here. And we're going to use super glue and need something for that to adhere to, so don't be shy with your thread wraps here. It's not going to matter. Throw a couple half hitches there just to hold your thread. And trim your thread. And then throw a couple dabs of super glue on there. Spread it around. You can use Zap-A-Gap, Loctite, whatever you like. And we're going to use a size 5 fish mask. And just slide that over there until you got some of the eye of your hook exposed. Let that sit for a minute, let the glue set. In the meantime, pull out some eyes. We're going to be using adhesive holographic eyes in yellow, size 3/16. That is the correct size for this particular fish mask. And just put a dot of super glue where each eye will go. Pull your eye off the card and stick it in that little slot and give it a nice press to secure it. And we'll do the exact same thing on the other side here. If you want to tie this weighted, you can use the fish skulls as opposed to the fish masks to add a little weight to help it get down. But I find that in a lot of the estuaries around here, the unweighted version works just fine. And there we go. That's your completed Searun cutthroat fly.